Alright, I am back with what is probably going to be my first and last video on Diablo Immortal now that it's actually released. Today I've been writing about the monetization of this game and kind of what I have discovered, and I'm actually kind of mad about it, where I don't actually get mad about things in the video game industry very often, but I feel like in this case, it kind of makes me look dumb because this is a game I've been recommending to different people because if you pick it up and play it, it's very fun. The adaptation for the Diablo format in mobile is really good, what they've done here with the touch controls and things like that. It's available on PC. The moment-to-moment gameplay and the initial story stuff is really good. And yet, even though I have my cool barbarian here, looking all sharp from, normal Diablo play, what I've discovered about the endgame makes me want to just put this game down now and not even bother and really just go back to Lost Ark or Diablo 3 or something that is not as insane as this, because also this is bugged and keeps showing me new skills when I don't have new skills. The problem is many-fold, but in summary, even for a mobile game, this is one of the worst monetized games I think I have ever seen in the entire industry. And that's saying something. I've played many gacha games over the years. I used to be big into Marvel's Contest of Champions, where you're fishing for characters and gems that are 1 to 5 stars. I sunk a ton of money into Hearthstone back in the day, which is collectible cards that are pretty much loot boxes. And then I'm still actively playing Genshin Impact, where you buy characters in that game too. And the problem with this game is that this takes things to a level that I don't think I've ever seen before. So the cap is 60, and there's some normal kind of mobile game slowdown things where they want to produce engagement and have you kind of check in every day with different daily challenges and things like that. But that's not really the main problem here. That's kind of boring. You have to grind out battle pass levels. The battle pass can be free, but it's the thing that gives you the most XP. You have to run kind of repetitive bounties. It gets a little dull, and it puts a lot of space in between the story mode after you can kind of burn through the first few chapters here normally. But looking into what happens as you get closer to the end game, the main way this game is monetized is around the legendary gem system. And Diablo 3 had legendary gems, but here they are a lot different, where they socket into every piece of armor. So 6 of these, and then there are different kinds of gems that socket into these for damage and stuff, but these are the ones that give you extra power and extra abilities. So this is a 2-star lightning core gem. This is the one I think you start with, and it does some special extra effects when you put it in your armor. And in order, if you want to make a good build, you have to combine kind of the top gems in the right format to get the right build that you want, which is fine. This is not that unusual, but the problem is this is early game, and when you get to late game, the only way to get legendary gems is through legendary crests. And yes, there are rare crests. You will get rare crests from checking in every day, but the way the system falls apart is how these are distributed in terms of drop rates. So like most games, there are 1 to 5 star legendary gems, and 5-star are obviously the best. 1-star is the worst. Rare crests are capped. They can only give you 1 or 2-star gems, and those cannot be upgraded to rank 5. So these are the ones you get for free the most often. You literally just cannot get above a 2-star gem with them. It's impossible. The drop rates for legendary crests are so low, it's kind of insane. So these two, you have a 95.3% chance of still getting a capped 1 or 2-star, meaning they will never ever be any better than that. To get a potential 5-star is a 4.5% chance. And then within that 4.5% chance, you have a 75% chance to start it at a 2-star, and then you have to upgrade it to a 5-star, which, let me tell you, will take a whole lot of other legendary gems you have to pour into this to upgrade it. And then it's only a 1% chance out of this 4.5% chance to get a 5 out of 5 drop at all. That is something like a 0.05% chance overall at a 5 out of 5. That's low. It's not the craziest gacha rates ever, but it is low. The problem is paid and earned currency. So right now they have your typical packs here. That is, it's $100 for 7,200 of these. That gets you 45 crests. It takes 50 crests to trigger the pity timer to guarantee you a X out of 5-star drop. So if you don't get out of 45 drops, if you or out of 50 drops, if you don't get that 4.5% chance to tick, you will get one at 50. But you're not even guaranteed that if you spend $100 in this pack. And keep in mind, this is for one legendary gem. And there are, I don't know how many there are total, a dozen, 2 dozen, 3 dozen. There are a good amount of these. And that is the first part of completing a build there. The additional problem is, as I said, you only get rare crests, the ones that are capped. To get legendary crests, you can get, I think the maximum is 3 free legendary crests a month. That is it. So there are some in the battle pass if you get to certain ranks. This is a normal one. Here's a legendary one here, and then I think there's one at the end. And I'm going to use some like Genshin Impact metaphors. Okay, maybe there's not one at the end. This is in the free section. You get an actual a 2-star legendary gem if you get all the way to the end here. But I think there's a way to get 3 free total. Maybe you buy one from a vendor. Maybe there's a third way to get another one. But like literally, this is the equivalent of 3 pulls in a Genshin Impact thing, like trying to get a 5-star character. And if you play that game, you know you're dumping in pulls by the tens, like with each new character that comes out, where the pity timer there is something like 90. But the difference between that game and this game is that you can earn a ton of currency just by playing the game. So you can like grind like crazy and you can save for weeks or months, and when your favorite character rolls around, you can blow all that and you will get them. That is set up for that. Here, you can't save up anything meaningful. If you save up 3 free legendary crests a year or a month, that is 36 a year. That is not even, it's barely over halfway to the pity timer to even get 1 X out of 5 crest for one, maybe potentially 5-star legendary gem, which is wild. And we have not even reached the craziest part of this yet. So it's not just that it's going to be hard to get like 6 5-star legendary gems. Like it's almost like most players who are playing for free will never even see a 5-star, like just not even at all. And if you're just playing and you're going to get legendary loot in this game is essentially just what runes used to be, more or less, in Diablo 3. Like it would like change the way a certain skill functions, so you would like pick the rune for it. Pretty much all the legendary gear I've picked up so far feels like that, where so like your spear now does this and functions in this way. Maybe there's some more powerful ones, but it mostly just seems like it's kind of changing the functionality. The true power comes in these legendary gems, which give you not only bonus stats, but these extra bonus effects. The craziest thing is there is an entire Inception-like system embedded in these legendary gems that I've discovered that I'm never even going to come close to reaching it. But like, this is something they built. This game has been built for whales that are such whales. Like there's not even, I in some of these other videos I've seen like the term Kraken was being thrown around in terms of how much you can spend on this game, because it was $100 to get not even a full chance at an X out of 5 random legendary gem. But once you get these here and maxed out, you can take them to rank 10. You have to upgrade them. That's a whole other process that I think you can pay for materials or something. And then you awaken a piece of gear. When you do that, it changes the appearance of the item, which that's a whole other can of worms, where the only way to get some truly epic looking sets is to awaken all of them with a bunch of rank 10, like 5-star gems. But it creates this Inception system where the gem then gets sockets. And I can't even bring up the screen because I don't have access to it and will never have access to it. But the system there has like a 5-star gem will have 5 sockets, a 2-star gem will have 2 sockets, something like that. And then you can slot in, guess what, other legendary gems into those slots. Not just any legendary gems, they have to be specific ones. And yes, you can slot 5-star legendary gems into 5-star legendary gems, and then you rank those up. So this creates a system where once you pile all of these on, each individual piece of gear I don't even remember the final numbers, but like you can have these wild something called resonance. So this is like increases resonance by 15, and that ends up playing into your total life and damage. But you get a fully unlocked 5-star ascended gem or whatever it's called, and then you slot in a bunch of other perfect gems. You're getting like 25, 50, 100, 300% bonus, life and damage for each individual slot you do this. But because of the system I've described, where again there is no way to get even the chance to get these drops in any meaningful way for free, this is it's not even thousands of dollars of spent. It is potentially tens of thousands of dollars spent. It is potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars spent for like a fully maxed out set on a single character. I understand that like Blizzard made this for the gacha focused Asian market, but again, looking at a game like Genshin Impact, which has made $3 billion and has a like this, Genshin Impact has its own set of like generosity issues that fans have complained about, but like Diablo Immortal makes that look like the most benevolent game in the universe. And I just, it is enough for me to be so kind of revolted by it that I'm not even going to keep playing this at all. Like I thought about playing other characters, at least getting to the cap of 60, because like I am, the game itself is fundamentally fun, but like it is such a bad system that I cannot even imagine investing more time into this, that I could be just either heading back to Diablo 3 to like pick that up again where none of this exists and you can grind out endgame builds all day long and do not have to pay anything for it, or doing something like Lost Ark where that's still a game where I have, I don't know, a dozen more classes and subclasses to explore and more levels to get through there. And that is some pay to win elements to it, but nothing remotely close to what we're seeing here. And I'm frustrated because this is a game like I actively, recommended to people where it is very fun in those first initial hours, and you have a lot of people online being like, oh yeah, I'm having a blast with this. Like they did such a good job with this. And then first you'll hit the XP wall, and then you'd be like, okay, that's kind of weird. Like I can't really progress through the story anymore until I grind out a bunch of random bounties and battle pass ranks. And then you'll hit the endgame wall and discover the legendary gem system that is just completely bonkers. Like Diablo 3 had its controversial auction house that was like the craziest thing ever. This is 50,000 times worse than that on every level. And I wonder, like, will this pay off? Because if you have, the goal is to get such big whales here, it doesn't matter what the normal players do. If you have players spending $1,000, $10,000, $50,000 on individual characters, I guess the gamble pays off. The damage this might do to Blizzard's brand in a time when it doesn't need it is another story. Obviously, this is their first new game since Overwatch. Like that is a really, really significant thing, and we have to wait a very long time for Diablo 4. Now I guess we have to worry, even if Diablo 4 is not a mobile game, they're going to want to monetize it, and how are they going to monetize it in a way that is similar to this? Because if it is anything remotely close to this, I cannot see that as being anything but the death of the franchise. I can't predict how this game will do because I don't know how, foreign markets and stuff, or even the Western market, how tolerant they'll be of the microtransactions. But like, this is, I wouldn't even go there. I would put this game down now and walk away and not think about it again and go play Diablo 3 or Path of Exile or Lost Ark or Genshin Impact or just anything, because the way this has been set up is, I mean, it's actually offensive. And like, I don't say that to be dramatic, but it is truly, I cannot think of a worse monetization system I think that I've ever seen in a game, in terms of just how much power it is selling and how little you are able to access for free. There is nothing like it that I have ever seen before. So that is my full-throated, I guess, denouncement of at least the end game. I had a lot of fun during those first initial hours running around. I think it does a lot of stuff right in terms of gameplay, and it did a great job with that. It's frustrating because they could have made a great Diablo-like experience from start to finish with an end game that functioned just normally, and yet we have this, not just monetization, but such extreme monetization, like it's mind-boggling. So I guess draw your own conclusions. Like, it's free, you can try it out. I just know what's waiting for you at the end of all this. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, thanks for watching, and take care.